Hello the internet and welcome back to Tony259, Tony359's second channel. Today I have a very small project to show you, and that's why I ended up making a video for the second channel and not the main channel. We're gonna look at this project and then we might take a look at these extender which I used in this video, and it never worked. I never really looked into why it didn't work. So I think we might want to do some tests today, at least the basic ones. Try to, remove from the equation some basic stuff that I have in mind, or many of you actually recommended on that video under the comments. And thanks for all your ideas and all your suggestions. The main reason for this little project is that I'm often using these postcard analyzer, which is telling me voltages and postcodes, so I know whether the board I'm using is posting or not. But obviously, this is plugged vertically in the board and I can see it, you can't see it. Yes, I could move the camera away, but I only have this camera, the overhead camera, the one you see here now. Plus I'm using an iPad to do the front-facing camera. I don't have another one. I don't really want to move that away because it takes quite some time, and then I have to put it back, rewire everything. I really don't want to do that. So I thought, why not getting a riser, a 90-degree riser, which I can use for my postcard analyzer. And that was actually the suggestion I got from many people back when I designed this little extender here. Lots of people said, why not just getting a riser and then you work on with the board, with your video card or whatever, just sitting horizontally on the motherboard. And I thought, well, I don't really like this because it's still going to be a bit wobbly. And I thought, I can design something like this. It's going to be simple, fun, and it's going to work. Now, it didn't work. So obviously we need to fix that one. But the other thing is, I had a look online. I can't find risers, and if I can find something, it's usually pretty expensive because I like risers for the HP computer, IBM. It's something like it has some values for some specific machines. You can't find like a £5 simple no brand riser that you can use for this purpose. Now, when it comes to this, we'll talk about that in a minute. But when it comes to my post analyzer card, I just thought I'll make my own. So I designed, if we can use this term, I mean, I'm very new at designing PCBs, so this actually took quite some time. I designed this little PCB with the help of PCBWay, of course, which is the sponsor of this video, and I got this for free, so that things are clear. And I got an 8-bit socket here, and we're gonna test it together. I haven't tested myself. We're gonna solder this thing. We're gonna make sure that the post analyzer card works. I don't see why it shouldn't work. But I don't know, even that one, my extender was like, I don't see why it shouldn't work, but it didn't. These, I'm a bit more optimistic about this because Peter, one of my viewers, hi Peter, looked into the ISA specification white paper, and it's very clear from these specifications that you can't really extend the ISA bus more than, I think it's like an inch. If I'm not mistaken, then it has to become like an active circuit, because otherwise, we're talking about high frequency here. So obviously you start getting signal degradation, reflections, all sort of stuff, which I have no idea how it works. So when it comes to this should actually follow the ISA, all the ISA regulations and parameters. If you think about it, you can find risers in computers and they don't have active components on it. So this should work totally fine. And this time I had the voltage rails, the voltage traces thicker than the others. So hopefully this is gonna work. So let me solder this one, and I guess then we can give it a go and test it. All right, well, I think I really like the outcome. It's pretty solid, and then it's slides here. And, as I said, I don't particularly like this if you're doing some diagnosis or something, but I guess, if this works and the other extender doesn't, well, that's an important feature. I can definitely wedge it with some anti-static foam maybe, or something, maybe a little piece of wood or whatever. It's not the end of the world. Most importantly, will it work? I've tested, I buzzed all these circuits. They are all working. I haven't tested for shorts. It's going to take absolutely forever. So Finger crossed I'm not going to burn my 386 motherboard. There's no video cards, so I'm not expecting this to post, but we should have some codes and then some error messages from the speaker here. So let's give it a go. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, it's working. Like it. Perfect. Right, so does it work with the video card? So can I post the motherboard with the video card? I haven't got my capture device connected. I'm looking at the monitor. We don't need to look at the monitor. You'll have to trust me on that. Let's turn it on. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, and I have a picture. Yeah, so this is working fine, and you can see it totally fine. This board has this layout, so you can actually have this one plus the video card in the same place. I would say on the average socket 7 board, probably this would end up on the last slot, because obviously I'm probably gonna use like the PCI card, and this is gonna end up in here. As long as it's within the frame, you know, that's great for the video, so at least you can see what I'm doing, something like this, and I can see it, you can see it. Why not? Now, since this works, I think what I'd like to do as next project, I'd like to make a 16-bit version, because obviously 8-bit is pretty limited. I don't think this video card is gonna work in 8-bit mode. I know that some video cards do work in both modes. We can try. Worst case scenario is not gonna work. But the thing, yes, I think I wouldn't mind to have one of these for diagnosing a video card, a sound card, or anything. I would have preferred something like this, but again, if this doesn't work, this is very acceptable. And so this seems to be working, and I guess I'll need to share my projects, my designs. Again, this is very simple, but it works. So if someone wants to make it, these 8-bit connectors can still be sourced on eBay. That was a couple of pounds, I think. It was pretty inexpensive. And I guess the next step is going to be to make that 16-bit version. Fantastic. Now, just out of curiosity, is this old video card working in 8-bit mode? Well, I guess we can try on an actual 8-bit slot here and see if it works. Look at that, that's perfect. So you can actually see what I'm doing here. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, yes, it works in 8-bit mode. Amazing. So, well, perfect. So we can test the riser with an actual video card straight away. Amazing. That's unexpected. Well, let's try in the same slot. Oh, it doesn't fit. How is it possible? Oh, yes, it does. It's a bit tight. I need to revise it a bit. There we go. Well, let's see if it works. Now, obviously, now I don't have the postcard, so you'll have to trust me with the postcard. I can't have 2 of this. Well, I could, I guess, but not today. I only have 1 made. 3, 2, 1, go. I think it's working. It's working! I got a picture! Wow! There we go. So I'll definitely make a 16-bit version, because that's so much easier than this contraption. And with the foam, look at that, it's actually pretty stable. And yeah, I feel like, you know, if I had to do some diagnosing here or poking with my oscilloscope or my multimeter, this is perfect. Look at that. It feels like one of those modern builds when you have the video card. Is it like sitting vertically like the motherboard, parallel to the motherboard? Yeah, amazing. I'm super happy with this. This seems to be working. And again, this very video card doesn't work on this very board with the extension. So fantastic. I love it. Again, simple project, but I love it. And since we're here, let me spend a couple of words on PCBWay, who manufactured those PCBs for me. Now, in this case, I actually designed this myself, and it took me some time because I'm still getting used to how the software is working. But you don't have to design PCBs if you want to use PCBWay services. There's plenty of projects online, amazing projects, which are usually free, and all you need to do is download the Gerber file from the project of your choice, upload it on PCBWay.com, and the software is more or less automatic. I tend to change the color of the PCB. As you can see, I've got green, black, and red, and then you just need to select a postal service, and PCBWay will ship the PCBs at your place. I've been using PCBWay for quite some time and never had to complain about the quality of the PCBs, and customer service is top notch as well. I made a mistake in my previous design, I think it was actually this one, and they came back to me asking what I wanted to do, and they helped me out to make sure that I was getting what I was thinking about. PCBWay can also help you with 3D prints. I've got some 3D prints items coming to this very channel very soon, so that's my first 3D print items I'm getting from PCBWay. We can take a look together, but for any of these projects, PCBWay can definitely help you. Take a look at PCBWay.com. The link is down below in the description, and let me thank PCBWay for helping me with these projects and sponsoring my channels. Their help makes these videos possible, so thank you very much, PCBWay. I love this little project, as simple as it is. I really love it, and I will definitely make a 16-bit version so I can diagnose ISA cards in the future. Now, because this is more or less done, I mean, I have it, it's done, I'll show you, and it's okay. Let's spend a little bit of time on this thing and see if we can make it work. So when it comes to this extender, number one, obviously we have a problem that we might have reflections or signal degradation because of the extension. Also, the data lines and address lines are not going to be the same length because just the way this is designed. And I honestly thought it's going to be fine. It's just for some testing. As long as the whatever card I'm diagnosing works, it doesn't have to be 100% reliable, like under load, for example. It's fine. If it works, then I'll plug it into the motherboard and test it there. This is literally just for poking around with the oscilloscope, with the multimeter, make it work, fix it, and then you move it to the motherboard and you do further tests. But obviously, that kind of backfired because this doesn't work at all. Well, it works with some things. It worked with my video card, sound card, but it doesn't work with video cards. And these very video card that we just tested doesn't work on the 386 motherboard. Let me show you. Power on in 3, 2, 1, go. So clearly this is not working. That's the error message for missing video cards or video card error. Just out of curiosity, would it work like here? I don't think it would make any difference, but just out of curiosity, 3, 2, 1, go. No, it doesn't. So, you know, that's why I selected this board. This doesn't work at all. On my socket 7, it posts. You can hear the bip, but there's no video output. So that's quite weird. This looks like the board, the chipset is able to talk to the video card to initialize it, but then you don't have video card. I have no idea. So one thing that many of you suggested is that maybe there's not enough power going to the video card, and to be honest, it's a couple of mistakes on my end. The first one is that all the traces are carrying power, like 5 volts, 12 volts, and what is the other one? Like 5 volts, 12 volts, and minus 12 volts. They're not any bigger than the others. They're the thinnest that the software by default suggested. So that could cause a little bit of voltage drop from the slot to the video card. The other thing is that these ribbon cable, I got it from AliExpress, and it's very flexible. Usually ribbon cables are kind of stiff. This is very flexible. I looked at the strands under the microscope. I think they're literally like 4 strands per conductor inside this thing, and I guess that especially with the video card, which again it's not a GPU, but I guess it does require a little bit of current, and maybe the moment it initializes, it draws a little bit of current, the voltage drops and it just stops. That could be the reason. So what I like to try and do today is to try and run some wires between the, I would say, as close as possible to the socket to as close as possible to the other socket to try and counteract this possible effect. Before I do that, I think I'd like to check with the oscilloscope if we actually see some drop when we power up, because that would be absolutely a 100% clue that we have a problem with supply voltages. Okay, I have a little setup in here. The video card is plugged to the extender, and I've soldered some wires where the 5 volts and 12 volts are basically reaching the board at the back of the board. So the red is 5 volts and is currently connected to the oscilloscope, and the yellow is 12 volts, and we'll take a look at that later. For now, it's just isolated here. I don't care too much about the wire here, because obviously the oscilloscope doesn't require current, so even a thin wire is okay. okay just to probe the voltage. At least that's my understanding. I have the oscilloscope in roll mode and the resolution is 1 volt per division. So what I'm expecting, maybe it's a little dip as soon as I power up and then it goes back to 5 volts, and that might be what's causing the initialization problem, assuming that is the problem. And I'm ready, I guess, to power up. In 3, 2, 1, go. Well, the oscilloscope is reading 4.8 volts, which I think is what this power supply is providing. It's always 4.8 volts. I don't think it's any higher anywhere else, and I haven't really seen anything horribly wrong at the beginning. Let's try this again, turn it off, and turn it on in 3, 2, 1, go. I honestly don't see an issue there. I've set the oscilloscope for single capture, so it stops as soon as the voltage goes over 4 point something. 3, 2, 1, go. And as you can see, I mean, I don't see a problem in there. Yes, there is a little bit of drop, but I don't think that's our problem, to be honest. We can still run a little wire between the two cards and see if that helps. But I was expecting like a big dip and, you know, maybe it was stopping something. But no, it looks like at least 5 volts is reaching the board and it's totally fine. Next is the 12 volts, but I wired the minus 12 by mistake, but we can check that too. So 3, 2, 1, go. Again, I don't see anything. Let me set again a single capture. 3, 2, 1, go. And no, really, I mean, you know, I don't see anything major there, so I don't think that that's our problem. But let's find the actual 12 volts and let's check that one. I should have the 12 volts now on the oscilloscope. 3, 2, 1, go. It looks fine. Let me check again with the single capture. 3, 2, 1, go. I don't know. I don't think that that is our problem, to be honest. But all I can do is to run a wire between 5 volts and 12 volts between this part and this part and see if that changes anything. Then what we can try is to try and scope the data lines and address lines and compare them between what we see when the board is plugged into the motherboard and what we see when the board is plugged into the extender. Alright, so I've added some wires, probably unnecessarily thick, but you know, the more the better. And they actually go from the edge connector to the socket itself. So they bypass everything, traces and ribbon cable and everything. I've checked continuity with my multimeter, everything seems to be fine. Now, before I burn both my motherboard and the video card, let me turn this on without the card, so we make sure that the motherboard should beep and say, I'm not happy. If it doesn't, maybe there's a short, I don't know. Or there might be some magic smoke. I thought, let's do that on camera. It's gonna be fun and not fun. Let's give it a go, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so hopefully I haven't done any major cross wiring and stuff. Now I can plug my video card here, which still has those little wires, but we're not going to use them for the time being. Actually, before I do that, let me plug my post card, because that will tell me if the voltages are there, before I burn my video card. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, I got 5 volts, 12 volts, minus 12 volts, and 3.3 volts is missing, and reset obviously is now disabled. So yeah, seems to be working. So hopefully, well, you know, it doesn't hurt to be careful when you're doing these things, because if you're sending 12 volts where you're not supposed to, could be a problem. Okay, finger crossed, 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa, okay, there's no beeping. Let me plug my postcard. Maybe it was actually trying to post. That would be a surprise. So let me move this to a different slot. Actually, you know, let's use that little contraption straight away. I can't use this one because I've got the ROM. So let's use the contraption straight away, I would say. Look at that. Perfect. So either it was working or it was burning, I guess. But I don't smell anything, so hopefully, finger crossed. Let's try this again. 3, 2, 1, go. It's working! Oh my gosh, it's just power. It's just power. That's simple to fix. Right. Oh, wait. Let me plug the video output here, video cable, and let's see if I have an output here. Wow, I was not expecting this at all. I have a video output? Wow, so it just needs bigger traces and probably a better ribbon cable. Amazing. I was totally not expecting to fix this on this video. I thought, this is going to be like 5 minutes. Let's add something which is kind of related, but yeah, just to say I'm happy. I was already thinking I'm going to abandon this project for this one, but this is not working. Oh, this is so amazing. So what I think I need to be done for revision 2 of these, assuming I want to go ahead with the revision 2, is a dedicated connector for power. So instead of running power through the ribbon cable, which, even if I get the better one, it's still gonna be pretty thin, and yeah, I might want to get one with and use maybe 2 wires instead of 1. No, let's just have a separate connector between the 2 PCBs for power, where you can use this kind of wires and it's gonna be totally fine. Now, what kind of puzzles me is that it didn't look so bad on the oscilloscope. But obviously those little drops that we were observing, I guess they are enough, or maybe there's some micro drops. If I zoom in, I can see a little like bigger dip, which I didn't see. The bottom line is this is working. It's 100% a power problem. So I'm assuming that what Peter found, that this is not supposed to work, as I suspected. It does work. It's probably not going to be super reliable, but for my purposes, this is going to be totally fine. Amazing. So I guess I might design a new one with just the extra connector. I think that's the better way, rather than try and patch it up in a different way. Just to have a separate connector for power, and at that point, that's it. It's completely separated, and you don't have to worry about it. But I think I will definitely go ahead and make a revision 2 of this with all the recommendations that everybody had. I think I need to go back to the comments. I remember one, for example, was to have some LEDs for power, so when that's powered. And, I think it makes sense to have a little extra bits and bobs without getting too crazy, maybe, and make this working for a next revision for whenever I need to repair something. So I hope you enjoyed this video as I did. If you have, as usual, I'd appreciate a thumb up down below, and also consider subscribing to this channel if you like this kind of things. Don't forget, this is the second channel on my main channel, Tony359, and I'm also on Patreon if you would like to support my work. The name of my patrons are scrolling at the side of the screen. Thank you very much for your support. You're absolutely amazing. I wouldn't be able to do this without you, so thank you so much for that. There is a free tier on Patreon, so no excuses, but if you really don't want to join me on Patreon, I do understand. Maybe you can buy me a coffee, the link is also down below in the description. If you don't want to do anything, it's also appreciated and understood, and I appreciate your time. Maybe thumb up, maybe a comment, that would really, really help my motivation and also the algorithm. I guess we'll see these tools in my future videos. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you're having a great day, and hope to see you soon here on my channels for my next videos. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Bye-bye.